Overwatch has been out for roughly a week now, and safe to say many people, including myself, are very much enjoying the game. But naturally there are a few things happening, including changes and a few other bits, as well as a thing that's been delayed. So we've got a bit of an Overwatch news roundup for you today. Now, one of the offensive heroes in the game is McCree, and he has a pretty interesting combo that players have been using since the game came out. Basically, he has a flashbang that will stun enemies for a few seconds, giving him enough time to use Fan the Hammer, which is basically the ult fire on his 6-shooter weapon, and basically will allow him to stun opponents and then quickly take them all out. Now, this works very effectively against tanks, which is apparently not really what it was meant for. This particular combo looks like it's going to be seeing a bit of a change, probably a nerf in some respect, as Blizzard principal designer Jeff Goodman spoke about their intent when designing this move in a thread called Please Nerf McCree. And he said, quote, "I've been watching McCree carefully since we've released McCree's flashbang plays an important role in being a strong option against very fast agile teams, Tracers, Genjis, etc. It is also a nice tool to prevent close-range devastating abilities and ultimates such as Reaper's Death Blossom. That said, it probably is a bit too good at dealing damage to higher health targets such as tanks and barriers. I don't have any concrete changes yet, but I'm going to be testing some things internally to see how he plays." Now, he did clarify that he's referring to the combo of Flashbang then Fan the Hammer, not the effect of Flashbang itself. So he's basically saying that Fan the Hammer is more likely to see changes than the Flashbang. The other thing that's probably going to be seeing a change is the play of the game system. Now, any of you who have been playing the game will know that the play of the game system is a bit mixed at times. A lot of the time, the play of the game just seems to go to the highest kill streak, which often means that it will usually go to a bastion or a turret or something like that, which is not really that interesting. And given that, there's all sorts of roles you can play in this game, it'd be nice to see a slightly more refined system where a really nice heal would get the play of the game, or a really nice res of multiple characters would get play of the game. And that's not to say it never happens, because it sometimes does, but those are the exception to the rule of, hey, here's the largest kill streak in the game or whatever. Now, naturally, this is all decided by an algorithm to pick the play of the game, and the idea, according to Blizzard, was to capture cool moments, but, as I just said, the algorithm tends to prioritise kill streaks and other offensive plays over the work of support and just general team play. But according to Rowan Hamilton, the lead software engineer over at Overwatch, it's a pretty difficult problem, and then said, quote, "From a technical standpoint, it's a really hard problem to have a computer figure out what is cool. They're not very smart." And he went on to say that the algorithm factors in a lot of different variables, including damage, kills, healing, and a lot of support actions. And they also recently added variables such as the difficulty of a shot. So, for example, a fast-moving character being shot down by a snipe or whatever is obviously going to be more impressive than someone just sitting there waiting to be shot. And he said, quote, "It's going to be an ongoing process and hopefully we continue to improve it." Now, I can definitely see they've got their work cut out for them here when it comes to improving the play of the game. And it's never really going to be a perfect system. It's never going to be perfect while a computer is choosing these plays from, a match made up of all sorts of cool plays that could really be play of the game. So, while it's definitely going to be difficult, I really hope they improve it because, a lot of the time it is just, hey, Bastion mowed down the entire team or whatever. And kind of on a similar topic, you have a thing called highlights within the game, where the game will automatically save short clips at the end of each game. You can only have up to 5, and you can't share them outside of the game unless you use third-party software. And obviously on console, this isn't an issue. They have inbuilt streaming and sharing technology, but if you're on PC, of course, you're going to have to capture that particular highlight with, say, Fraps or Shadowplay or something like that. But it is a little bit kind of annoying to have to boot up your recording program of choice just to save this particular highlight. What would be really nice is that you can save these clips for later and even export them from the game. They are mostly a few seconds long. It would be really cool to share on Facebook and Twitter and other such things. And Blizzard said they are working on making this happen. And I've got a comment here from the game director Jeff Kaplan, who said on the Overwatch official forums, quote, "Our hope and what we're working towards is to allow players to save highlights or export them to a video format someday." So, while someday isn't exactly a really strong sort of timeline, at least it's something they're considering, and it's not the end of the world to boot up Fraps or Shadowplay or whatever to record the highlight yourself and then export it, it would be nice to see this feature being integrated into the game at some point. And finally, we're on to our last piece of Overwatch news for today, and it is the delay that I mentioned at the start of the video. Now, you might remember that during the closed beta, Blizzard was testing a ranked-only mode called Competitive Play, which would arrange you into tiers based on your performance in qualifying matches, and obviously it needed work because obviously this particular mode is not actually in the launch version of the game. Now, shortly before the game came out, Jeff Kaplan said that the mode would be making a return around June. However, according to Twitter, that is no longer the case, as they were asked by a couple of people when competitive play is coming to Overwatch both on PC and console, and their answer was mid to late July. So it seems like we've got a little bit of a delay on this particular feature, which is a bit of a shame. I myself probably not going to be playing competitive mode because, well, I'm decent at Overwatch, you know, I'm okay, but ranked play, maybe not. Maybe I will, maybe not, I don't know. But it's obviously going to be really annoying for people who have been awaiting this feature and perhaps were hoping that it would be coming out at launch. Obviously that wasn't the case, and now it's of course been further delayed to July instead of the June release. And not just July, to mid to late July, so we're looking at a month wait minimum. That's if, of course, it isn't delayed again. So, yeah. Many changes and things on its way to Overwatch, which is a very strong game. As I said, I have talked quite at length about Overwatch in my Look At video, which you can find linked in the description below. If you haven't seen it already, I suggest you check it out, and thank you again for watching. I'll see you next time.